Never date a man for potential. You know what it's giving? That mindset, it's giving immature. It's giving teenage vibes. And a man should not be a maybe. He should not be figuring his life out. He should know where he's going. He should have a direction. He should have a plan. Like, there is a phase in life where dating for potential makes sense. Like when you're young, when you're teenagers, like you're both still building, you're both still figuring out life. At that time, you don't clearly know who you are, let alone know what you want in a partner. So yes, at that time, dating somebody for a potential for who they could become makes sense. But after a certain point, I want to say like after 22, and you've had some life experience, then this approach into dating is going to cost you. Because by then, a man should not be a maybe. He should not be figuring his life out. He should know where he's going. He should have a direction. He should have a plan. And I'm not saying he needs to have everything figured out. He needs to have an idea of what he's doing, where he's going, and what he stands for. And most importantly, there should be evidence, okay? Not just words, but actual action, actual proof in his life. And I feel like as women, this is where we get it twisted, okay? We don't always move logically in love. We get carried away by our emotions. We see these little glimpses, this potential, this idea of what he could be, and we start attaching ourselves to that version of a man rather than the man who's standing in front of us. And I've done this too. If I'm being real, most of the guys that I've dated for their potential. Like, it was very rare for me to meet somebody and look at that person and be like, wow, like this is somebody that I can look up to. But instead of that, I always attracted men who were just there, you know, like in my vicinity, available, convenient. And you know how this goes, okay? They slowly make their way into your life, and slowly you get comfortable having them around. And because there's nothing else happening in your life, you start entertaining it. But the problem with us women, once we get intimate with someone, we get really attached. I feel like this happens to me and to also most girls that I know, that when we start dating, okay? Like, we fully step into that role. Because when I become the girlfriend, I am the girlfriend. I am the supporter, the motivator, and even the coach. And when you're dating a man for your potential, in your mind, you're always telling yourself, it's okay, he'll grow. I see his potential. He just needs some time. But what I did not realize at that time was that I was not in a relationship, I was in a project. Because instead of being with a man who already met me where I was at in life, I was trying to build a man into the kind of man that I wanted him to be. And when you're in that kind of a dynamic, it changes everything. Because you start over-giving, you start over-explaining, you start overextending. Because you think that him not being able to meet you where you want him to be at is because you are not doing enough. Like, you are not motivating him enough. Somehow you start thinking like it's your fault. And as slowly time goes by, you start to realize his words and his actions don't really match up. They don't match your standards. They don't match your life. They do not match your vision. And by the time you realize it, you feel like you're already too invested into this. And so you do the most normal thing ever. You decide to stay. You tell yourself, this is love, this is how it's supposed to be. Things will change, you know, it'll pay off, it'll all pay off in the end. You will manifest him into getting better. And without even noticing, you start waiting for a future that is never going to arrive. And meanwhile, what is happening to you in the present? You're feeling anxious. You feel uncertain, you feel drained. I wonder why. Oh wait, I think I know. Well, maybe it's because you're pouring all your energy, your time, your attention, and your life force into something that's not even solid. Baby girl, I know, okay? Because I've been there. So in this video, I'm gonna break this down for you in a way that's very real and very clear. By the end of this video, you will be able to tell the difference between a man who actually has the potential and is working on getting his life together versus the man that you're romanticizing into something that he is not. Because there is a big difference between these two, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nifty, and here we talk all about mindset and manifestation. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and now let's talk about a man with real potential versus fake potential. Number one, vision versus vibes. A man with real potential has a vision about his life. Like, he knows what he's doing. He has a plan. He has a roadmap for what he wants his future to look like. And the most important part is there's gonna be proof. And on the other hand, there will be a man who just talks about the vibes. Ooh, I want to be rich one day. I want to do something really big. But the problem, this man has a zero structure, no consistency, no plan, nothing whatsoever, okay? He's just talking in the air. A man with a vision, yes. A man with only vibes, no. Number two, consistency versus intensity. Real potential shows consistency. And you will see it in all areas of his life. In his habits, his discipline, his routines, and even the way that he shows up for you. His efforts for you, his love for you, the way he shows up for you, the way he texts you, everything will show consistency. Whereas fake potential, it shows up in bursts. You know how there's some guys who are like, one week they're like super motivated and the next week they just disappear? Yeah, fake potential. Like, these are the kind of men who will go to gym for 1 week and then they've lost the motivation. And if you are with someone like that, you're going to be stuck trying to reignite their spark all the time. Number three, self-led versus you-led. A man with real potential is already pushing himself, okay? You might be an extra motivation for him to work harder, to go faster, but you are not his only motivation. This man already has a motivation outside of just you. He has a hunger, he has a drive, you know, and this cannot be taught to someone. You cannot instill this into someone. This is something that the man needs to have all by himself. And on the other hand, if you're constantly reminding him, if you're pushing him, if you're sending him podcasts, so he will watch that and he will decide to get better. Like, babe, at this point, you're the one who's pushing him to do better. You're not his partner. You're his life coach. Babe, you should be getting paid for this, okay? Do not give the services out for free. Because under this dynamic, you cannot form attraction. Number four, action versus words. I think this point speaks for itself. Real potential is visible in action, in the way that he shows up every single day. One of the most important things a man has is his word. So if a man says that he's gonna do something and if he actually shows up and does it, green flag. And with a high value man, you do not have to tell him and guide him to take action. He's gonna observe, he's gonna see your standards, and he's gonna set new standards all by himself. This man will meet your standards naturally. And on the other hand, if you're holding on to what he says he will do one day, oh, when I become that, I'm gonna treat you like this. When I make that much money, I'm gonna spoil you like this. In this case, you are emotionally investing into a situation, future version that does not even exist. Because what that man is making you feel right now is going to be the same way he's gonna make you feel even when he has the money, even when he gets better, or whatever it is that he says he will do. The way he makes you feel today will be the same way he will make you feel tomorrow, even if he gets that thing. So if your man is not spoiling you with the little money that he's making right now, he is not going to spoil you when he becomes a millionaire either. And if you're a woman who knows what it is that you want and you are constantly lowering your standards, you're dating hope, not reality. Number five, security versus anxiety. Your body knows, okay? When you're with the right man, you feel safe and secure inside your body. Like, doesn't matter if he's completely accomplished or if he's made it, but your nervous system will feel safe. You are okay to just rest and relax with the trust that that man will handle it. And on the other hand, if you're with a man and if you feel confused, anxious, or uncertain most of the time, that is because deep down, you do not trust him. You do not trust that man to take care of you and to complete the task the way you would want it to be completed. So you need to keep your guard up and you cannot be in your feminine energy. And if you feel like that, you know you're dating him for potential. Like, with the right man, you're going to feel expansive. Like, everything he does for you, every time you guys are together, it's gonna feel like your world is growing. But when you're with the wrong person, it's gonna feel draining. You're gonna feel like you're putting in more than what you're actually getting out of this relationship. You're gonna feel emotionally drained, mentally drained. So here is the real test. Ask yourself this and be brutally honest. If the man that you're with right now or the one you're thinking about, if he stays exactly the same for the next 2 to 3 years, would you still choose him? And I'm sorry to tell you, but if your answer is no, then you're dating that man for his potential, not for who he is. Let me say that again. You are not in love with him. You are in love with his potential version that you have created in your head. And honestly, this was one of the realizations that changed everything for me. And the realization was that the reason I kept dating all these men for their potential was because I was projecting myself onto them. Like, I would literally put myself in their shoes and think, okay, what would I do if I were them? Like, if I was a man and I had a partner like me who was driven, who was supportive, who was loving, and who's clear about what she wants, I would step up. Like, as a man, I would step up. I would get my life together, I would work harder, and I would make this shit work. But the thing is, that was me, not him. And that's where so many of us get this wrong. We don't fall for him, we fall for who we would have been if we were him. Like, we literally project our mindset, our ambition, our love onto someone who hasn't completely earned it. And then we sit there confused, waiting for him to act like us, to think like us, to love like us. But he can't, because that is not who he is. That is you. So baby girl, if you see yourself in this is your wake up call. Okay, wake up. Stop building somebody else while you're putting yourself on pause. Take that energy and redirect it. Like, pour it into yourself. Pour it into your growth, your life, your vision. Because the goal is not to find a man that you can fix or you can build. The goal is to become the kind of woman who attracts a man who's already in alignment. A man who meets you where you are. A man who doesn't need to be convinced, coached, or carried. A man whose actions already reflect the kind of life that you're trying to create. And that is a big shift. And once you make that shift, things in your life will change. The way you date will change. The kind of men you attract into your life will change. And that is everything I have for you guys in this video. I hope after watching this video, you got more clarity. And tomorrow, if a man walks into your life, I hope you can clearly identify if he's real potential or fake potential. And share this video with another girl who needs the reminder, because trust me, we've all been there. We've all been the Bob the Builder at least one time in our life. And if you're ready to level up your lifestyle, your standards, your life, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will be coming out with a new video next week. And thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.